Fourth grade lesson 10.2 is classifying triangles by angles. Let me just do a very quick refresher of angle measures. The names of those angles, we have those small angles that are less than 90 degrees, acute angles. We have that perpendicular angle perfectly 90 degrees, which is a right angle. And then we have those leaning back, very uncomfortable angles. If this were your legs here and you had to lean back and hold that position, your abdominal muscles start shaking and it's uncomfortable. That is your obtuse angles. So just want to put that right back fresh in your memory again because you'll need that knowledge for this lesson. So our essential question is, how can you classify triangles by the size of their angles? A triangle is a polygon. A polygon is a shape that is three sides or more, at least three sides, that is totally enclosed. Imagine a horse's paddock where the horses can't get out. We don't want the horses getting out, so it's not going to be open where the horses can get out. It's going to be something that's closed. It could have four sides as long as it's closed. It could have five sides. Polygons can have five sides as long as it's closed, and all of its side lengths are straight, no curves. That's a rule. That's the rule of polygons. All right. So we have polygons, just basically shapes that are enclosed with straight lines that connect to each other. And three angles. A triangle has three angles. It's a polygon that has three angles. You can name a triangle by the vertices of its angles. So the vertices, remember, are the corners. We can call it triangle ABC, this little symbol we say as triangle ABC. We can call this triangle BCA. We can call it triangle CAB. You get the idea. ACB. Doesn't really matter which way you go. And unlike the angles, you don't have to have one specific vertices. An angle only has one vertices. This has three. So we can just go in whatever order we want. An angle of a triangle can be right, acute, or obtuse. So this is going to be key, and that's why I reviewed it. Right angle, acute, or obtuse. Right angle, acute, or obtuse. Okay. Identify right, acute, and obtuse angles in the triangles. We'll use the triangle color guide to color the triangles below. So if you have crayons out, you can grab some crayons, red, blue, orange, or if you don't have crayons available, use like stripes for one, just to identify what you're going to do here. We have, for any triangle that has one right angle, at least one right angle, I'm going to color them or shade them in or highlight them in red. So I see, it's nice, it's easy to see because they have the little box there, right? Right angle there. This one's got a right angle. This one has a right angle. And this one has a right angle. Okay, I think that's it. Now we need, in blue, if it has one obtuse angle, we're going to highlight that. This will be a little harder. The right angles were easy because of these. We have to really scrutinize these or look very closely at these. That angle, and that angle do not look like they're leaning back. So not that one. This is an acute angle. This is an acute angle. This one, though, oh yeah, that is, if these are my legs and I'm leaning way back, that is obtuse. So we're going to highlight that blue. Okay. How about here? No, that's acute. Oh, that's leaning back. That hurts right there. Okay. That's blue. That's acute. That's acute. That's acute. That's acute. That's acute. And ooh, here we go. Leaning back. Looky there. Highlight that one blue. All right. Finally, we're going to do orange on the three, if it has three acute angles only. I'm gonna go with green. I don't have an orange, so I'm gonna go with green instead. Okay, this one we already identified: acute, 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 acute. All three angles are acute, and there is my rainbow of triangles. We identify these triangles based on that. If there's even one right angle, we name them a right triangle. If there is even one obtuse angle, we call it an obtuse triangle. And if there are only 3 acute angles and that is it, we call it an acute triangle. So cute. All right. So we're going to name the triangle with 1 right angle. Right here is the right angle one. And we're going to call it, let's call it triangle PQR. You could have called it triangle QRP, QPR, whatever. You could have called it, as long as you use those 3 vertices as your letters for the label. Doesn't matter what order. Name the triangle with 1 obtuse angle. That's acute, 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 bending forward. Acute, acute. Ooh, there it's the leaning back one. That's obtuse. That's triangle. Let's call it XYZ. We could have done ZYX. We could have done YXZ. I went alphabetical. Name the triangle with 3 acute angles. We already identified this is acute, acute, acute angles. ABC. Triangle ABC. Okay, starting to see this hopefully. Let's look again at the next example. And oops, there I went again, getting ahead of myself on the previous page. They explain that here, what I had already explained on the previous page, but it doesn't hurt for us to hear it again. An acute triangle is a triangle with 3 acute angles. We have an acute angle here, an acute angle here, and an acute angle here. That is 3 acute angles, and so we call that an acute triangle. An obtuse triangle is a triangle with 1 obtuse angle. We couldn't have more than 1 obtuse angle, that it wouldn't work, but 1 obtuse angle. And so I'm going to highlight that obtuse angle right there. And the right triangle is a triangle with 1 right angle. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight that right here, 1 right angle. So that's how you name them. That's how we classify them or group them into their proper families. Acute angles have all acute angles. Obtuse angles have 1 obtuse angle, and acute triangles have all acute angles. Obtuse triangles have 1 obtuse angle, and right triangles have 1 right angle. So use a Venn diagram to classify triangles. Write the names of the triangles in the Venn diagram. And let's go through and use that highlighting or however you did that before, whatever patterns or colors you might have used. I'm going to go with the red for my right triangles, and those are easy to mark. I feel like coloring these up front will be helpful as I put these through in the Venn diagram. All right. Then I'm going to use blue for my obtuse triangles. These are all acute. That's an obtuse angle right there. So this triangle is an obtuse triangle. Acute, 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 barely leaning forward. Acute, acute, ooh, that's a leaning back one. Makes my stomach ache from the abdominal muscles, leaning back like that. Acute, 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 acute. That one looks like it's leaning back, right? If these were my legs, I'm leaning back. Okay. There's an obtuse, so that's an obtuse triangle. And I'll use green for my acute triangles. Acute, all angles acute, all 3 angles acute. All right, that's going to make this easier, I think, for me. Triangles, what are my acute triangles? These are all my green ones. Triangle RST or TRS or whatever. Triangle LMN right here. And triangle ABC. You see why I went ahead and highlighted those? That just made it easier to identify down here. What are my right triangles? Those are the ones that have 1 right angle. We colored those. I colored mine in pink or red. So here they are, my 2 right triangles. So we have triangle BCD right here, and triangle PQR, I can call it, RPQ, whatever I want to call it. And now I need my obtuse triangles. I already highlighted them. So I have triangle WVX. I have triangle DEF. And I have triangle HIG. And those are all of my triangles in the diagram. So I just sorted them out. For me, I found it easier to identify them and code them here, highlight them or color them or do something to identify them first, and then lay them down there. So we'll name the triangle and tell whether each angle is acute, right, or obtuse. And just to have that in front of us, because our brains are still adapting to it, we have a right angle, an acute angle, and an obtuse angle. Just a little cheat sheet for us to help us out. Okay, name the triangle, tell whether it is an acute, right, or obtuse triangle. Well, I have an acute angle, and a right angle, and if it has even one right angle, or it can only have one, but if it has one right angle, it is a right triangle. So we're going to identify it as a right triangle. I'm not sure that's what they wanted there. They said the name for the triangle. That is, let's call it triangle FHG. Angle F right here is acute. Angle G right here is a right angle. And angle H right here is acute. And that's why, because of this, that's why we identified it as a right triangle. I guess they didn't ask us to do that on there. They just wanted us to name it. But you went the extra mile because you're awesome like that. All right. Classify each triangle. We're going to write whether it's an acute triangle, a right triangle, or an obtuse triangle. If it has one right angle in it, it's a right triangle. If it has all three acute angles, it's an acute triangle. If it has one obtuse angle in it, it's an obtuse triangle. All right, let's take a look at our angles. That's a little bitty one. Oh, so cute, acute angle here. But this one, look at that. That is obtuse. If that's your legs there, you're leaning way back. So at least one obtuse angle means this is an obtuse triangle. Let's look at number 3. Probably you're seeing this one right away. This is an acute angle. This is a tiny, tiny acute angle. And this is a really difficult sitting position. Obtuse angle. One obtuse angle in it means this is an obtuse triangle. And finally, let's look at number 4. This is a little acute angle. This is a little acute angle. If this was your legs, you're leaning forward. This is a little acute angle because if this is your legs, you're leaning forward. And so all of these angles, all 3, are acute, making this an acute triangle. That's it. That's all this lesson is about, is just getting used to recognizing those angles and identifying what type of triangle you're looking at based on those angles. If you need more practice, we can practice more together. If you're ready, go ahead and go on Think Central and do it.